everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video.
Hello, dearie.
So as you can tell from the title, this is our Once Upon a Time season ranking video, and we've been so excited to film this video.
Yeah, really excited because we actually get to finally talk about what's happened in the seasons. Because in the vlogs we have to be really vague because we don't want to give away any spoilers for anybody that's watching. But there's going to be spoilers in this, which we'll explain in a minute. But yeah, really excited to talk about what's happened in it, but also to just talk about a show that's become really special for us. And you can tell it's a special show when you watch the episodes and afterwards you're coming up with your own theories and about
trying to work out
what's going to
happen to everyone,
what's going to happen to the characters next, and then you're talking about their backstory and stuff like that. So yeah,
and we actually really miss it. We know that it came out quite a while ago as well, so I feel like we're a little bit late to the party.
Yeah, I found out by watching many sort of interviews on Comic-Cons and stuff like that the fans are known as onceers.
Oh.
So when we're onceers.
We're onceers now. But we absolutely loved watching it, especially watching it together. It was a show that we both really loved. And I think when you find a show and you watch it with someone and they love it as much as you, it just adds to it. And yeah, we were really sad to reach the end, but also really happy because we get to film this video and chat all about it.
Yeah, so before we go any further, this is it. This is the spoiler alert. It's the same as when we did our Marvel rankings. There's going to be spoilers in this. We're going to be talking about every single season that there's been. So there's been 7 seasons in total. If you've watched them all, then it's absolutely fine. But if you really don't want to find out what's happened in any of the seasons, please do not watch this video.
It will give away a lot of the big things that happen, and it just won't be as fun for when you watch it. So
yeah, it's fun to find those things out as you go along.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll give you a second now to switch off if you want to avoid the spoilers. Okay. So let's talk. We've not got as many categories, have we, this time?
Yeah, we thought we'd only do 4 just because there's only 7 seasons, and they are split into A and B in America, because I think
you have your winter
half
finale.
The season comes out and then the other half comes out a little bit later, but we've just done it by the set seasons. So there's 7 in total, so we thought 4 tiers would be best. And should we go through them, what they're called?
Yeah, so we've picked quotes from Once Upon a Time for our categories. So down at the bottom,
they're a little bit random. It was actually harder than we thought.
Down at the bottom we've got even heroes make mistakes, which is said by Captain Hook. And this is just basically, you know, that the heroes are the people that are making the show, but something's just gone a bit wrong.
We want to start off by saying that we love the show.
Yeah.
We are huge fans of the show. So even the seasons that we do put in the bottom one, we still love them.
Yeah.
So we thought Even Heroes Make Mistakes is a nice title for it.
Yeah.
Because we're still acknowledging that it's our favourite, one of our favourite shows.
Overall, they were bang on.
Yeah.
But it's just there's something that wasn't quite right.
Little mistakes.
Yeah. Also, this is of course just our opinions.
Yes.
And you know, everyone's going to have their own version of which seasons they like best. The next one is All Magic Comes With a Price.
Did it?
You hear many times in the seasons. And this is basically, so the magic is, I've got a really weird explanation of this one. The magic is the show. We're invested in the show, and our price is getting a season that isn't quite as good as some of them. There's
a tiny little things wrong with it. That means that it's not up there.
Yeah.
So that's the price.
Or it might be a storyline that we didn't quite like.
Or a character or something.
Yeah, the way characters were portrayed. We'll get onto that later.
So the next one is I Will Always Find You. Again, another quote that is said a lot of times between Snow and Prince Charming. And we kind of said this one because it's I will always watch you, in a way. We used it in that kind of term. So these are seasons that we love, we would watch over and over again, and they're very high up there for us.
Yeah, and then you've got top billing It's got to be. Magic is real.
And that's like top tier, nothing wrong with it, absolutely loved it, top tier seasons.
Everything was just
bang on.
It was hitting the stride in that one. So yeah, those are the different categories. Does that mean we've got to start now? We did actually have to write notes because we've watched these seasons like back to back and so much happens. So we had to write notes and go back and decide which seasons things happened in.
It's actually crazy how much happens in one season. Like there's some seasons that I was like, wow, that happens in that one. Yeah. So we've just written just in case we forget.
Oh, there's 22 episodes, I think, in each
per season.
They've shortened, I think, American seasons now to like a few episodes, but yeah, there's a lot to get through. All right, so we're going to start off with, of course, season 1.
Where it all began.
This has got to be very high on the list because season 1, it's like it starts it all off.
Yes.
This is very different from the rest of the seasons, really.
Because there's no magic. That's like the major difference.
Yeah.
And also, I heard from a lot of people, they say they find season 1 quite slow because it kind of comes into its stride once they find the magic. But I really loved it.
I would say that is something that I think affected us when we tried watching it the first time.
Maybe, by nearer the end of the season.
Yeah. But I don't think we didn't stick with it long enough for it to like really get like, they're gonna find out. And I think unlike the rest of the seasons as well, they don't find out right up until the end.
It's very near the end. Oh, it's like the last episode, isn't it? When the curse is lifted.
I think so. Trying to remember. But yeah, of course, in this version, no magic in Storybrooke. All the characters have been transported to Storybrooke, and
what I really loved about this season was thinking about which character each person was. Yeah. I really loved trying to guess, and sometimes we'd get it right and then sometimes we'd just get it completely wrong. We'd
be like shouting at the screen, Jiminy Cricket!
And the guy who we thought was the wolf.
Oh yeah,
he still turned out to be the doctor.
I never, Dr. Whale. I still never quite get that. I think
we were convinced he was the wolf.
It was because he was always like being very friendly, though like maybe too much so. He was a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And he was chatting a lot to Ruby.
Yeah.
Who then of course becomes
we thought was
the wolf.
Right. So yeah, like what I loved about season 1 was trying to guess who each character was. It had that like magic element, but it was also set in the real world.
You had Henry.
Oh, yeah, little Henry. When I go back and see pictures of him from season 1, I'm just like, oh, he was so small.
Yeah. Like Emma
you first meet Emma.
Is introduced, and she's just so like not taking any rubbish, like is she? She's just although you know you do get a bit annoyed with her in the season because
by the end you're like, just believe him.
Come on.
What I really loved as well was the story between Snow and Prince Charming, and then also was it Catherine?
Oh yeah.
So the evil queen Regina tried to pretend that Catherine was his. Well, she was initially, wasn't she?
No, she was gonna be, but they didn't actually go through with it, did they?
But she tried to get Catherine and Prince Charming together after he woke up from the coma. And then there's just something that kept drawing them together. Yeah. And that was another thing that you were just like, come on.
I feel like this season was very much Charming and Snow White.
Yeah.
Like it was about their story, mainly. And you just come to realise that those two characters, those two actors, like sort of just, they hold the show together, I think.
They are together.
You know, I know. And then when you realise that they are together in real life, oh, it's just brilliant. But something that I said we were going to be quick on this, but it's just I keep chatting. Like the introduction of Rumpelstiltskin, Robert Carlyle. Of course, I know him from many different things, and I was really shocked to see him in a show like this. I didn't think it would be something that he would do. But straight from the off, his portrayal, I just loved it.
He's kind of like the back. I feel like him and Regina are like the backbone to the whole show. They're very interesting characters. And I love that you were always like, he knows. There was something behind his eyes that you were like, you know. And I also love the introduction of Regina. And it was really funny because I remember in the first season, I really didn't like her. Like, she played the evil queen so well that she would turn up in a scene and we'd go, oh, she's just here to ruin it. Like, we were just...
I'd always do that. She'd turn up and I'd go, oh, what's she doing here again?
Just because she was so evil. Like, she was
Yeah.
really evil in that first season. And it's funny to look back now, because of course we love her now. And it's funny to look back to that first season where she was pure evil.
And the rivalry between Emma and
Yeah.
and Regina was great.
I think it has to be up there. It's not my favourite season, because I think I did start to like it more once they introduced the magic and once they found out who they were.
Yeah. Emma doesn't have a great time. Quite a lot, like her love interests.
Oh,
tend to-
yeah.
The guy who played the huntsman.
He's in the fall now.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to be with it for a while, but no. He got killed
I
off.
think he must have got another show. But we used to find it funny because we were like, anyone Emma falls in love with, they are going to die.
Which, you know, did sort of come true.
So we think, what do we think? I think I Will Always Find You.
Yeah, I will say I will always find you, just because it was, I think as it was getting towards the last stages of season 1, I was like, how long can you
Not know.
keep going with this? And like you would get irritated by it. They've almost found out. No,
Yeah.
they haven't.
Should we put I Will Always Find You?
I Will
Because
Always Find You.
It did start off the whole thing.
Oh yeah, it's got to be
And I would definitely watch it again.
I'm really keen to go back and watch all these seasons.
I'm really keen to watch that one because obviously we watched that one the longest time ago. So it'd be fun to go back and watch it.
Belle was even introduced, like, so many characters were introduced in
Yeah,
that
you
first
met
season.
pretty much the core characters.
Yeah, and Pinocchio,
Oh,
August,
yes.
I did like him. He dips in and out throughout the different
Yeah.
seasons.
Okay, next, season 2. So the curse is broken, they all have magic, and I feel like it really starts to pick up now.
Yeah, and then Regina is like, she's sort of starting to come around a little bit,
She's
but
still
not
quite
a lot.
evil.
Yeah, she's still quite evil.
But she does redeem it at the end.
At the end.
Because she saves the town.
Yeah, and but Rumpel's really angry with Regina because of what she's been doing to Belle, keeping Belle locked up.
I really like Rumpel and Regina's relationship because they're both, they're quite similar in a way, especially near the beginning when Regina, you know, is a lot more evil. And I love that they're just, they both kind of want the same thing, but they're also not prepared to like work together. So they just like bash heads the whole time.
I remember though when the series started, and straight away they get split up. Snow White,
Oh, yeah.
Snow White and Emma get split up from Prince Charming. I was like,
They fall through
Prince
the
Charming and
portal.
Snow White just got back together. Is this going to happen every time?
Yes, because they will always find each other. You found me. And they have to try and get back to Storybrooke, and
Yeah.
that's when we first meet Cora.
We meet Cora and then someone who's working with Cora, Hook.
Hook.
Hook
And
is introduced.
Hook is not a good guy. Well, I mean, he's definitely like a really, really bad villain, but he's not a good guy at the beginning.
I liked him pretty much from the start though, because I just thought he was really funny. But he just flip and flops between like, I'm going to do the right thing. Oh, I'm going to do the bad
wrong
thing. I'm going to join them. Oh, I'm going to join them.
And at this time as well, like they hint at the relationship between him and Emma. Like they have a few little flirty like remarks. But as an audience member, I wasn't really behind them at that much in that season. I think because I was like, I wanted her. Well, she had Pinocchio.
I thought it was going to be August. Yeah.
August, and also, have we met Neil yet?
Neil's, yeah, well, no, we see Neil in this season. We find out about the backstory, yeah.
So I wasn't really certain that Hook and Emma were going to be a thing. But then there were a few little hints to it as well, which I quite liked. But I was also like, Hook needs to, like, brush up his, shake up his...
What?
He needs to, like, get better, like, be a better person.
Oh, right, yes.
Brush up his...
Yeah. I don't know.
Antics, I don't know. there is a saying, but I can't think what the saying is. But I really did enjoy season 2. It had a good elements to it.
But yeah.
I like Cora as a villain, and it also showed why Regina was that way.
Cora was worse. Oh, she was worse.
Cora's dark.
Yeah, worse than Regina.
Oh, way worse.
She got a bigger
but it
whenever
also
she came on.
explains why Regina is that way, and you start like. The little sympathy for Regina starts to creep in. And also Henry as well starts to... Because at first he's really, really against the evil queen.
Yeah.
And then he starts to think of her more as his mum and like care about her a bit more.
Yeah. And you're just
the
like,
end.
Cora, don't try and sway Regina. Don't do it. She's heading on the right path.
What do you think?
Well, that was like the first part of the season, and then the second part of the season was they all got back together, and then Cora and Regina were in Storybrooke.
Oh yeah.
And Rumpel got
to New York.
He got the hook, didn't he? Can't remember this, can you?
No. Doesn't he go to New York to find Neil? Is that in this season?
Yeah, so he goes off to New York to find Neil, and then they
Hook
find
goes
Neil.
to kill him.
Hook goes to kill him. Hook gets him with the squid ink.
The squid ink, yeah. That's why you threw me. I thought he did it with
Then they go back, and then that's how Cora meets her untimely end. Snow White. Snow White kills her.
That was pretty shocking. I didn't think Snow was going to go through with it. But I like that because then the line between villain and hero gets a bit
blurred.
Because the heroes, like Regina, starts to do some good, and then the heroes, like Snow, start to do some evil stuff. And then it starts to blur, and they start to become more of a group rather than like good versus evil.
Yeah. I do like this season. I liked it because there was magic.
Yeah. And you also like found out a lot more about their backstories.
Yeah. Oh, I'm tempted to put it in Magic is Real.
Oh, I would probably put it in I Will Always Find You.
Oh, I just think it's got so many good things, like the hook. I love hooks.
Yeah.
Thing, and I love the Snow White.
Okay, let's put it in Magic
thing.
is Real. Magic is Real. Okay, so we're on season 3. My favourite season.
I don't think
Hands down.
I don't think there's any doubt from us anyway that this is going in the Magic is Real.
This was like the epitome of everything, like the magic, the characters.
I remember when it started, I went, "Ooh, has this got a bit of an improved budget?"
Yeah.
Just the season started off with like this grandiose thing of them trying to get over to Neverland. in the Jolly Roger, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is cool."
I just loved the concept of Neverland.
Yeah.
I thought it had that amazing mixture of magic, and then it was also a little bit darker than before. And Pan is pretty much the evilest villain, I think, out of everyone, because even in the end, he never gets redeemed.
Yeah, most of the villains do, but Pan never gets
there
at
all. No. And I think because he's so young as well, that it makes it a little bit more evil.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks really innocent, like his actual face, because he's like a young boy.
When he first turns up and he befriends Henry, I was like, oh no, he's definitely Pan.
Yeah. And I like the whole story, the backstory of Pan, that he is Rumpel's dad and their whole relationship.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good. It can get confusing at times as to how everyone's connected.
Yeah.
But I really liked that story. And it was funny because, like, at the end of season 2, the reason that they end up in Neverland is because of these two people who have been working for Pan.
I forgot about them.
Yeah.
That is the one bit of season 2 that does annoy me, and I think that's probably why I would have put it in I Always Find You, because those two people, I was so annoyed at them.
Neil's fake fiance. But then they just turn up in season 3 and we were like, yay! Because they're not in it for the... They get rid of them within that first 10 minutes.
Yeah, we weren't a fan of them. I forgot about them even.
And then one of the aspects that I love is that they're all like together as a superhero team.
It's like the first time that they're trying to work together. They still like butt heads a lot. I quite like how there is still that tension between some of the characters. So like Hook and Charming, there's always tension between them. Regina and
everyone.
Because Regina's always just like, fireball, kill everyone. But I really like that they're at least trying to work together, because obviously all of their goals is to save Henry. And
I think this season does start the trend of me all the time, Prince Charming especially, like, why are you doing that?
Why he didn't tell her.
Charming does some questionable things in each of the seasons, like, and or you think he's doing questionable things, but yeah, he didn't tell Snow White about the fact that he was dying.
And I always think that Charming doesn't have the best ideas. Like, I like him as a character, but sometimes he gets it so wrong, and he also goes really quickly, doesn't think, and I feel like he does the first thing that comes to his
Jumps
head,
the gun a little
which
bit, doesn't it?
sometimes works, but then other times I'm just like, what?
It's because he's trying to do it for a good reason. He's like, need to save them.
Yeah. But there was so much. We meet Ariel for the first time.
Ariel.
I really like Ariel as a
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
Is this I think Robin Hood. The second version of Robin Hood turns up in this season.
Oh yeah.
Because they start
the proper Robin.
Because they start the whole thing of Tinkerbell says that Regina's true love.
The dragon
Sorry,
tattoo.
it gets me upset every time. Yeah, and it was the guy in the first one was the guy from Miranda who's in.
Yeah.
He's always I can't remember his name, but he's really well known. I think because this other series got picked up. That's probably why I didn't end up doing it. But yeah, I really love this season.
It's my favourite season out of them all.
First half's Neverland. Second half, you get the introduction of Zelina, who, I mean, they had cracking villains in this season with Pan and then Zelina.
Oh, quickly before we go on to Zelina, I really like the bit where Pan and Henry switch. So you think that it's all done, we're fine.
Yeah.
Also, I used to get really annoyed at Henry in that season when he just believes Pan, but that's for another day.
Yeah. He starts off the seasons by always trying to do the right thing, and then he does make some mistakes as he goes.
But I like that when they switched and Henry in Pan's body had to convince them all that it was. That was really good. Yeah, and they were at the town line with the gun and everything. I like that whole. That was quite
You got Rumpelstiltskin who finally turns to the good side and sacrifices himself for the others, only to then come back and be evil again.
I feel like that's a tradition with Rumpelstiltskin. You're like, yes, well done, and then the next scene he's brings out the dagger, and is like, I'm evil now.
Yeah, I'd put it in magic as real because I think Zelina and Pan, the villains were just top notch. Story was really good.
I remember Zelina as well. They have a really good thing where when you first meet the villain, you really hate them. I really disliked Zelina because I was starting to like Regina. I was like, no, because she was out for Regina too as well.
There was one bit of this season that I was a bit like, oh no, they forgot their memories again. And I was like, no, don't let that. And then that happens again.
They always forget their memories.
Later on. But yeah, no, I really like that one.
Yeah, magic is real. Top tier. So next is season 4. And I thought season 4 started off really strong.
Yeah, the first story, the first half of it was really good story. Wasn't so keen on the second half.
So the first half of it is Anna and Elsa and the Frozen and the Ice Queen, and these characters and the actresses were incredible.
I know I feel bad that I don't know their names, but all of them from Arendelle, they were spot on.
I really loved, and also the Ice Queen as well.
Yes, who was also Mrs. Claus in Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, you said.
Too.
I just really loved how it was acted. I thought they did service to Elsa and Anna, but also brought their own flavour to it as well.
Christoph, the guy from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that storyline, and she was a really good villain because her story really made sense. I really felt for her, and in the end obviously she makes the right decision.
She had a reason to do it.
But I did feel for her, and I kind of understood why she was trying to get them. All she wanted was for them to love her and to have sisters.
Yeah, I mean, going the wrong way about it.
Yeah, going the wrong way about it, but I really understood her backstory. She wasn't just a villain for the sake of it.
Well, I liked how they sort of did the Frozen story with Emma in the fact of about controlling her powers and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, Emma was getting her powers and things, which is cool.
It was a really fun opening, and then in the second half we moved into where Rumpel went to New York. He got banished, didn't he? This
was brilliant. So yeah, Rumpel got brought back and he was being his evil self again, and Belle was like, I've had enough of this. Just get
finally.
And then she just banishes him over the town line.
That bit was really strong of Belle, because for a lot of it you're like, like I really like Belle's and Rumpel's relationship, and I really think that he does love her, but he messes up so much that I really do think sometimes I'm like, Belle deserves so much better than him.
Yeah.
And there are times when he just takes it that bit too far.
Yeah.
And she still puts up with it and takes him back. So I really like this because she really stood up for herself and she was really strong. And
yeah, there is quite a bit of time where they're not together, isn't there?
Mm.
I can't remember which season they got married in. But
and then she gets with the random guy.
Oh yeah, Will. Will.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was this season, was it?
I never understood that relationship. I think it was because it was whilst he was away.
And then in the second half of the series as well, so it was about Rumpel going off and finding other villains.
Mm.
So he went off and he found Cruella de Vil, Maleficent.
Yes.
Oh well, Maleficent actually was in Storybook, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And Ursula.
Yeah.
Now the only thing about this was that Ursula changed completely to what she was initially. But then I did read up saying that there might be two versions of Ursula.
Oh no, not this again. Not the double realms. We haven't got to that yet.
No, I think there were meant to be two different ones. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just something I read online. I don't know if it was an official thing.
Yeah. And we learned about Cruella as well.
No, I do like Cruella, but I always just wondered...
You didn't understand why she was magical.
I didn't understand how she ended up in, like, the magical realm.
Because she's very much London. Like, her whole story is based in London.
Yeah.
But then, again, so is...
But then if you've got the answer
characters
for that, then let me know. Fill in the blanks for us.
Yeah, but we really enjoyed it. I much enjoyed the first half. I felt like the villain bit went a bit slower, personally, for me. But I think because the start of it had been so strong with Frozen, that I kind of felt like, well, where'd you go from that?
Mm. But I did like the trying to find the author thing. That was quite cool.
And like finding out who the author was.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's between the middle two for me. I think it's I Will Always Find You, but I don't think it's on par with parts of it are.
Mm.
I don't know whether All Magic Comes with a Price. I would put the first half in I Will Always Find You and the second half in All Magic Comes with a Price.
The thing is, I think that's the one I would watch.
Yeah.
Again, because I love the Frozen bit.
Do you think I Will Always Find You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Will Always Find You, but it's primarily because of that beginning,
Frozen.
the beginning bit. They in the second half as well. They do the story with with Lily, Maleficent's daughter, which doesn't get sort of resolved.
It doesn't go anywhere. That was a really good story, and it also showed that Snow and Charming again made a very bad decision and then also lied about it. So it kind of showed that they're not perfect, and I like that. We
were just feeling for Regina all the time because Marion.
No!
Marion gets brought back from the past.
Regina has such a hard time.
And then she gets frozen. But then while she's frozen, Robin Hood and Regina get together and just all becomes a mess. But then Regina sends him away because she knows it's the right thing to do.
The right thing, and they go over the town line. I really felt this is when I started really becoming #1 fan of Regina.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, she's finally found someone. And then, and I know Emma didn't mean it, but I was like, Emma, why did you bring her back?
But then the season ends with Regina finding out that Marion is Selena.
Oh, is this in the end of this season?
I believe so.
That is so... I end up really liking Selena in the end. But that was bad. What she did, the fact that she tricked Robin into sleeping with her and then got pregnant with his child when she knew that Regina was in love with Robin and also tricked Robin. Yeah. Like, it was bad. Like, was evil.
When she came back, I remember my reaction when I saw Selena. I was like, no, not again.
Yes, we thought she got rid. But then I really am glad they brought her back.
I am.
Because she became like a huge part of the later season.
And then Emma becomes the old dark one.
At the end.
Yeah.
It is, overall, it has its dips where it gets a bit slow around the villain part. But overall, it is a very good season.
And I was really intrigued with what they were going to do with Emma being the dark one.
Yeah. It kept you like hooked, which leads us on to season 5, which I thought was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, I mean,
I had high hopes for it.
With the whole idea of Emma and Hook being the Dark Ones.
Yeah.
Emma never really is the Dark One, I don't think.
She never goes too far, which I understand why, because she is the saviour.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see her maybe get a bit darker.
I quite liked Hook as the Dark One, but you really were like, what are you doing?
Hook went so... Like, Hook didn't even try. He didn't even try and resist it. Like, he went so dark.
Yeah, but
so
Emma's he said, let me go.
I know.
And Emma forced it on him.
I know. That whole... I did like it, and it did very much establish their relationship, and also showed... It was a bit like, oh, I don't actually know if they're going to be together at times.
I did find that, I found that intriguing, like that first, so the first story part of that season was about that.
I wasn't too keen on the dark underworld.
And then
part.
we moved into the underworld, which we were like, oh, well, it's gonna be Hades, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think because Hercules is my favourite film, everyone knows that I love Hades. He's my favourite villain, and also Meg is my favourite. I know she's not a technical princess, but she's my favourite princess. And I didn't like the portrayal of Hades or Meg or Hercules. And I think that is why that season let it down personally for me.
Yeah.
I was so excited for Meg, because I thought she's going to be this like strong, like amazing character. I thought there's so much you can do with her. And then they just made her really like...
she was trembling and
trembling
scared
the whole
from the first scene she was in till when she left.
She didn't have much backstory. They kind of just were like, yeah, she's Meg. And she was just like a really big wimp the whole time.
Compared to what you were expecting.
It wasn't what I was expecting. And also Hades, like, it wasn't the Hades that I had pictured.
You wanted to, so they obviously went down the route of make him more
realistic,
make him more serious.
Yeah.
But I still think you could have got that humour out of him and still make him quite, scary.
Yeah. Like, because they did the whole blue thing. They turned him blue.
Yeah.
His hair. So, I think personally for me, season 5 wasn't my favourite. It wasn't my least favourite, but it wasn't my favourite. I think it would have to be an Even Heroes Make Mistakes. Or it could be pushed up to All Magic Comes with a Price because of the first half of the Dark One.
I would say All Magic Comes with a Price.
Yeah?
Maybe.
It's
also because I kept saying Regina's too happy here. Regina's too happy. Oh, Robin's dead.
Yeah.
Killed him, and I was like, oh!
That was really sad.
And then the end, so they kill Robin, and then Emma manages to get Hook back.
This is when I really was, I actually started to dislike Emma, but only because I just thought this is so unfair on Regina. And of course I was happy for Emma and Hook, but I think because it all happened at the same time as Regina losing Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, I just felt for Regina. I was so sad about it. Wasn't I? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
you were. But I think some other things that make it all comes with a price. Merida was introduced in this season, and I
like Merida.
I loved Merida's portrayal. And then there was the Ruby and Dorothy storyline, which was really cool. I thought.
Yeah, they didn't really explore that as much as I thought they were going to, but I did like their relationship.
Yeah. So I think let's move it into.
Okay. There are some really great elements to it. I think it's the underworld bit for me. Okay, it's looking good. So we're on to season 6, and I think season 6 picks it back up.
I really liked season 6. I remember saying, oh yeah, I really like this more than season 5.
I really love, because I think it's because I'm just such a big Regina fan, and I know a lot of people are Regina fans, and I love the Evil Queen / Regina storyline. Yeah.
And I felt like it was all gearing up. It seemed to be like the last season they were going to do. And I felt like they really tried to pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like it was the last season.
There was good energy to it. All the characters had good storylines, and even in the end, it all got kind of
wrapped up. Yeah. Well, except for the little tag on ending, which if they hadn't have put that tag on ending of a certain girl knocking on a door, then I could have believed that was the end. We just confirm with our notes,
so we don't miss anything.
Yeah. So there's the Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yeah.
Which was cool because then that led to Regina splitting herself into.
That's the main bit of the season that I loved, and also I liked how the evil queen technically. I liked that Regina didn't end up with the fake Robin Hood, but I liked that the evil queen got her happy ending.
Yeah, that was really nice.
The fake Robin Hood. So it was like a little bit of like, oh.
Yeah, for Regina, just not the Regina we know.
No.
Then we also had the sleeping curse with Snow and Charming. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. They kept. Yeah,
they had to be asleep and then the other one would be awake. That was cool. The Wish Realm was introduced in this season, which would prove tricky a bit later.
This is where the timelines start to go a bit funny. But actually in season 6 it did work because they kept it as a fake realm in season 6.
So it worked.
So that whole bit where Regina kills Snow and Charming to try and convince Emma that it's fake worked because you didn't feel bad because they were fake.
Yeah.
Obviously that gets changed in season 7. Yeah, that whole thing was quite interesting.
Love that they had Nemo in there and the Nautilus, having watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, you've watched
and then like how they made it look like the submarine from the movie.
Disneyland Paris as well.
Yeah, Disneyland Paris. And then like so the first half was the evil queen, and then like the second half was mainly about the Black Fairy.
Oh yes.
Being Rumpelstiltskin's mother.
And
got a
Gideon.
very strange family, Rumpelstiltskin.
See, the Black Fairy wasn't my favourite villain, but I think it was because we just had so many villains that I feel it was quite hard for her because we had already been there, done that with a lot of villains.
Yeah.
But she was good.
So yeah, there's another curse, and then it harks back to like the first season where Henry has to convince Emma that it's all real, which is nice. And again, that's something that you would think would be in the last season because it's going full circle. But yeah, there's lots of nice things in this season. In particular, what were you going to say?
I really enjoyed trying to figure out who was going to kill Emma.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? Like she kept having those flashbacks, and I was convinced Emma was going to die.
You were?
I really thought that was how they were going to end. Because it felt like the end, and I knew that she wasn't in season 7 as much, or I didn't know how much. So I thought that maybe Emma was going to die in the end of season 6, which would be quite dark, but I thought maybe that would be a bit of a shocking ending. And obviously she was having all those flashbacks or premonitions to what was going to happen with the guy or girl in the Coke, and it was like interesting to see like who that was. Also, a massive part of season 6 is near the end they have the musical episode.
One of my favourite episodes ever.
We were so surprised. We actually didn't realise that it had a musical episode until we got closer to it.
Yeah.
And I think someone mentioned it and we were like, what? And it was so much fun. I think because they did it at the exact right time because people had really gone on a journey with these characters.
Yeah.
They really felt for them.
You like the characters, you like the actors.
Yeah.
It's just, you like the show, so it's like sort of rewarding you for like watching.
Because I think if it had happened in like season 1 or something, you'd be like, what is this? But whereas now you're like, Regina's singing.
Oh, I loved all the songs.
My favourite is Helena's song.
Oh yeah.
The kid always wins. So good. And yeah, Prince and Snow. And
Helena has like a rock tune.
Regina has rock tune.
Regina has a little rock tune.
Helena has her little like very pretty ballad, which is all about being evil.
Yeah.
And killing Regina.
I love how they incorporate the main theme into that song that Emma does at the end.
Yeah, at the end. It was just really fun. It was really good, and it definitely felt like they were rounding it out and like giving you like everything for the end. It just very much felt like it was the last season and everything kind of got wrapped up, and it felt like the end.
Felt like the end.
Wait, where is it going to go first?
What?
Where's it going to go? We need to decide. It's not my favourite, but I prefer it more than 5.
I do, so if we're thinking that,
it should go and I Will Always Find You.
Should go and I Will Always Find You.
But it's not on par with 1 and 4 for me. It's kind of like in between. So I think either All Magic Comes with a Price, but it is higher than 5.
Yeah.
Or I Will Always Find You, but it is lower than the other 2.
I think I'd have it in I Will Always Find You just because it
musical
felt...
episode.
No, but also like it felt like the last season.
Yes, I know what you mean. And it all got round.
It's the last one with like all the cast being involved like throughout it.
Yeah. And it is one I'd watch again.
And I loved Regina's story.
Yeah, okay.
So within season 6, within the finale bit, there kept being these
flashbacks.
These weird bits with this little girl. And then it all led to the very end of season 6 when she knocks on the door and this guy opens up who you've never seen before, and he's Henry.
It felt very disjointed. It felt like a completely different show.
Now,
and we have been warned.
A lot of people said leave a gap so that so you're not jarred too much. Leave a gap between the end of season 6 and the start of season 7 so that you can like soak in the ending of 6. I probably would have if there hadn't been that tag on.
Yeah, but then if they hadn't done that, people wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
maybe.
but with the tag on of the girl knocking on the door at the end of 6, we felt like no, it's just got to go on. It's just got to go on because now it is connected to it.
Yeah.
So we went straight onto it.
Season 7 is an odd season.
I will say there are moments. There are moments where it reminds you of like the old seasons.
Yeah.
But all of those involve the original cast. So with season 7, they don't have. Well, we've got the only people they've got from the original are Hook, Regina, Rumpelstiltskin,
but not real Hook.
That's it, really. You've got those 3 who are like the main ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and Zelina's in it for a bit, but like they don't have everybody for a long period of time.
No.
And so you just really miss them.
And they're very. So it starts off obviously that we've been cursed again. Henry's lost his memory, and I understand what they were trying to do. It was like going back to season 1, but it felt a bit like we've already done this.
Yeah.
Like we have already been through this, and we don't feel as much emotion because they're not the characters that we went through it with.
It was hard to get on board with that guy being Henry.
Yeah. I think because we had grown up with Henry, and even though they did a good job, I still didn't fully believe it was Henry. It felt like a very different person still. Because
we felt like they had to rush everything in this season.
But
in terms of characters.
I wonder if it felt more like Henry if he had been in Storybrooke with the original cast and all that had been the same. Maybe he would have felt more like Henry, but I think because it was a different actor but also in a different place with other different characters, it was completely not Henry. But I also felt like the villains were very rushed, and I think because they had to fit a whole storyline into one season, and it felt at times that they were like rushing it a little, so like a lot of the villains got rushed.
In saying that though, they manage it in season 1.
Yeah.
They tell the story.
True. It was just, there were some really lovely bits. My favourite characters are Alice and Robin. And I loved their love story, and I really liked them both as actresses, and I really felt they were really strong. I really liked them.
Yeah.
They kind of lifted the energy for me.
Definitely.
Out of the new characters that we were introduced to. I wasn't a huge fan of Rapunzel / Lady Tremaine. I didn't really buy into that whole story that she was both Rapunzel and Lady Tremaine.
Mainly because
we'd already met Rapunzel.
Well, when you saw the young Rapunzel,
did look like her.
She definitely didn't have the same voice.
Yeah.
Like as in their accents were completely different.
Posh.
And then this was the big thing for me. Maybe it's a bit picky, but Tremaine's daughter was called Anastasia.
Oh yeah.
The older version of Rapunzel would call her Anastasia, and the younger version of her would call her Anastasia.
Yeah, so somewhere along the line she changed her name. I
Yeah.
don't know, there were just a few bits that didn't really capture us, and also I felt like the action wasn't there that had been in the previous seasons. It felt a lot slower in general. So like there were bits that I really, really liked, and once they had figured out, for ages we were like, come on, because Regina was playing a character called Ronnie, and then you had Weaver. Rumpel didn't even know who he was, and for ages we were just like, we just want them to
Rumpel
find out.
starts off with his Cockney accent.
Yeah,
In this season, then he starts doing his normal accent, and nobody questions why his accent's changed. There's just little things.
Yeah, I think as a season it just felt completely different. I think that's the main issue, is that it just felt like a completely different show.
At one point, we started this running gag of how many times can they mention beignets.
The beignets, if you've watched the season.
They mention beignets. I think
used to count.
every episode from like episode 3 or 4.
We don't know if it became like a running joke with them, like how many times they could get beignets.
I don't know.
It made us. Also, this is like one of my major questions from the season. Why is the beignet magic? They never explained.
Don't know. Not sure.
There's this bit where Dr. Facilier taps the beignet sugar on the little thingies made.
Oh yeah, the dolly's made, yeah.
And then it turns it magical. But we were never told why the beignets were magical.
There was a lot of unanswered questions in season 7.
And a lot of people as well have said about the timelines. They really confused me.
So like the last 5 episodes, I was like, yes, really invested now.
It really picked up.
Because you start getting everyone knew who they were and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it focused really in on like the original characters.
And then you had evil Rumpel appear.
Yes.
To be like the main villain that they have to defeat.
Yeah.
So they got rid of Dr. Facilier and they got rid of Mother Gothel.
What did people think about Regina apparently having a relationship with Dr. Facilier?
That came out of nowhere.
We feel like it came out of nowhere. There's been no reference to it. It's never been shown in any of the flashbacks.
Yeah. But I was really worried that they were gonna like finish together, and I was like, no, he's not good enough for her.
It's just I felt there's certain things that didn't quite make a lot of sense.
I think unfortunately it has to go in even heroes make mistakes.
Yeah, I think that bracket was made. We put that in for this.
And I don't think we're alone. I think a lot of Once Upon a Time fans do feel the same way.
The ending as well. So we watched the last episode and I cried.
Yeah, like
at the end.
It was lovely because all of the characters came back.
It's a lovely,
Snow and Charming came and saved the day as they always do, and then Snow says that line where she says, "Oh, Emma's having trouble with the baby," and I was like, Emma and Hook, they're not going to be in it, and I was a bit like, oh, and then
they turned up.
Things open the door, they come running down, and that got me because I was like, they're all together again.
Rumpel's ending I thought was really good.
Got redeemed.
I like the fact that Regina gets her happy ending, and so that finished. But then the questions started.
Yeah, I just got really confused with the timeline
of how everyone was together and who was together.
Because they suddenly threw in that they could travel. That the season 7 was in when they got cursed. They also got brought back in time.
Oh yes, that's right.
And that's what confused everything. And we've watched videos on YouTube of people trying to come up with their own theories to make it work, and I think a lot of people are quite confused as well because the ages as well.
Yeah.
My main thing, I don't know if I can explain it without getting too complicated, but it's the ages of the children, because Robin and
Neil
Neil was born before Robin, so even if they went back in time and all that kind of stuff, Neil should still be older than Robin when they all come together. And Neil looked about 10 and Robin was obviously over 18.
Yeah.
So that bit, there were just a few like timeline age things that I didn't get. But overall, it had a really lovely ending.
Yeah, overall. And it was lovely to see the cast come back for the last few episodes.
It was like 2 episodes, it like had 2 endings. I feel like it has the season 6 ending, which is like the real ending to their stories. And then the season 7 was like a bonus of just seeing them all again.
Yeah, and so I think it is a shame maybe if you finish it before the end. Because I think towards the end it does get better that season.
I think if you've been a fan of it all, then I would stick with season 7, even if you're a bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to finish this. I would stick with it because the ending is lovely.
Yeah.
And you do feel like it rounds it up nice.
But the lead up to them finding out who they were was a bit...
Yeah.
We
probably have the most to chat about this season. Okay, so at the moment we have season 7 in Even Heroes Makes Mistakes, tier 4. All Magic Comes with a Price, tier 3. We have season 5. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Then I Will Always Find You, tier 2. We have season 1, season 4, and season 6.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
Yeah.
Very good seasons. And then Magic is Real, which is like our top tier. I think if I was to go back and watch any seasons, I would watch 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because they were amazing.
So
they
good.
were strong seasons. they were incredible, and they also led on very nicely. So like you could watch 2 to the end of 3. It was a really nice story arc.
Yeah, I heard Lana, what's she called? Lana
Perra or something.
Yeah, sorry. The actress that plays Regina, her favourite seasons are 1 to 3 as well.
3. I think like you just fall in love with the characters in those seasons.
Yeah.
And their relationships.
But you do become loyal to them. Like that's why you stick it out for the whole.
Oh, we just love
season.
it. We love it so much.
Well, that's the issue when it got to 7 though. It's like, why? Where are they?
Come back, Snow.
What's happened?
I will always find you, but not in season 7.
And also, I just wanted like the people who'd played the characters originally.
Yeah. So definitely put in the comments if you agree or if you disagree. You could also write down your own tiers and let us know where you would place each season, because I always love hearing people's opinions, especially about something that we love so much.
And then also if there's something you want to chat about that's happened in it, then you can, because we haven't mentioned everything.
Oh, we couldn't. There was so much that happens, and there's probably stuff that I've even forgotten about. So yeah, let us know your favourite episodes even. But I hope you enjoyed hearing all about our ranking of Once Upon a Time, and also just, it was really fun just to chat about it.
I'm sure we'll be revisiting the seasons, you know, in the near future. And we also want to go to Storybrooke.
In Canada.
Well, you know, the real place that's in Vancouver, Canada.
We should also do one maybe for the characters as well.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Let us know in the comments if you'd like that. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for a lot more videos, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Toodle Pipski!